Imagine night has fallen. A gentle breeze drifts through the air, and the only sound in the darkness is the ticking of a clock. Your eyelids grow heavy, your thoughts begin to fade, and just before sleep takes you, you don't yet realize you're entering the realm of a god. Even Zeus feared Hypnos, the Greek god of sleep. In Greek mythology, everything began with darkness. Before light was born, before the Olympian gods rose to the heavens, only two forces existed in the world: Nyx, the goddess of night, and Erebus, the embodiment of darkness. From their union came a child, one neither as infinite and black as his mother, nor as silent and hollow as his father, but standing between the two, the boundary between awareness and oblivion, between life and death. His name was Hypnos, and beside his twin brother Thanatos, he gave meaning to existence. Thanatos brought endings, while Hypnos brought rest. One carried death, the other sleep. To the ancient Greeks, the two were one and the same twin gates along humanity's path. It is said that the home of Hypnos lay hidden in a place where no sound could ever reach. There the sun never rose, the wind never blew, and the birds never sang. Only a river called Lethe, the river of forgetfulness, flowed through it. Whoever drank from it would lose all memory and sink into eternal slumber. Beside the river stood a cave, draped in poppies and sleep-inducing herbs. There lived Hypnos, his eyes forever half closed, with golden wings upon his shoulders. Each time those wings stirred, the world would gently fall into silence. For the ancient Greeks, sleep was more than mere rest. It was a bridge between the world of mortals and the realm of the gods. They believed that when they slept, their souls left their bodies and entered the domain of Hypnos, and he, like a silent guardian, watched over this journey. But Hypnos was not just a guardian. In various myths, he played a far more dangerous and unpredictable role. Once, in the midst of the Trojan War, Hera, wife of Zeus, asked Hypnos to put the king of the gods to sleep so that she could carry out a plan to aid the Achaeans. At first, Hypnos refused. He knew too well that Zeus's wrath could be deadly. But Hera promised him a reward: the beautiful Pasithea, a goddess of relaxation and the bride he had long desired. And so Hypnos agreed. He spread his wings and flew to Mount Ida near Troy. As Hera, with cunning and charm, embraced Zeus, Hypnos fluttered above them, sprinkling his drowsy powder over the god's eyes. The lord of the sky drifted into slumber, and for a brief moment, the rule of heaven and earth stood still. But that was only the beginning. When Hypnos fled to the sea to warn Poseidon that Zeus was asleep, the waves began to surge and a great battle erupted. Mortals fought on the fields of Troy, yet their fates rested in the hands of a god whose only power was to make the world sleep. When Zeus awoke and realized what had happened, his rage shook both heaven and earth. Thunderbolts struck the mountains, and his voice echoed through the skies. "Hypnos, where are you?" But Hypnos, the seemingly gentle god, had already fled. He knew there was only one being in the cosmos that Zeus feared: Nyx, his own mother. Hypnos escaped into the embrace of the night, seeking refuge in his mother's cave. Zeus pursued him, but when he reached Nyx, there was nothing but darkness, a darkness so deep that even the god of thunder dared not pierce it. From that day on, Zeus swore never again to anger Hypnos, a god who ruled with lightning and war, afraid of one whose only weapon was silence and calm. The quiet power, the power of the mind, the power that dwells within the darkness. But Hypnos was not alone. He was the father of three beings: Morpheus, Phobetor, and Phantasos. Each ruled over a different realm of dreams. Morpheus shaped the dreams of humans, giving form to people within our sleep. Phobetor created nightmares filled with beasts and shadows. Vantassos painted dreams of objects, landscapes, and illusions. With the help of his 3 sons, Hypnos held complete dominion over the world of dreams. When you slept, they danced within your mind, shifting shapes, breaking memories apart and weaving them back together. The ancient Greeks believed that dreams were messages from the gods, sometimes warnings, sometimes prophecies, sometimes peace. And Hypnos was their guardian, the messenger between heaven and the human mind. Even today, the essence of Hypnos lives on in our language. The word hypnosis comes from his name, meaning to induce artificial sleep. Modern psychology, without realizing it, continues the legacy of this ancient god. When humans in the 19th century began studying hypnosis, they were in fact peering into the same realm the Greeks once considered sacred, the half-conscious world that lies between wakefulness and sleep. Perhaps this is the true allure of Hypnos. He reminds us that real power does not always lie in battle or thunder, but sometimes in silence and surrender. He was the one who taught the world the power of calm. Sleep is not merely the shutting down of the mind. It is a slow conversation between you and a world that never sleeps. It is the moment when the rational mind fades and the hidden parts of your being are finally allowed to speak. When you close your eyes, you enter a realm where the rules of daylight no longer apply. There, time bends, space dissolves, and memories drift like waves floating in the dark. And it is precisely there that Hypnos exists, not as an imposing god, but as a quiet shadow emerging from the mist, guiding you toward the unknown. He does not stand beside your bed. He walks inside your mind, in every image you see, every sound you hear, every emotion you experience without logic. There is a trace of Hypnos. Every time you dream, even if you remember nothing, something within you has changed. A bit of your fear softens, a piece of your tired mind is repaired, or the spark of a new idea glimmers in the dark. The Greeks believed that sleep was a channel for messages you could never hear while awake, and that belief still lives with us. Psychologists say the unconscious speaks in dreams. Philosophers say sleep is a bridge between the self and the universe. And mythology says this voice is the voice of Hypnos. Perhaps it's this paradox that makes him eternal, that the greatest transformations happen in silence, that a single moment of calm can achieve more than 1,000 battles, and that true power is not always in clenched fists, but sometimes in gently closed eyelids, and a world surrendering to quiet. So when you wake up and for a moment don't know where you are, when a vague dream follows you through the day, when you feel something inside you shift, even if you can't name it, perhaps that is the language of the gods, a language that speaks not through words, but through images, emotions, and shadows. Hypnos reminds us that in the depths of every sleep, a truth is hidden, and in the silence of every night, a world is being formed. And now, when you lie down tonight and your eyelids grow heavy, remember this. Perhaps the silence you feel isn't silence at all. Perhaps Hypnos himself is there with a gentle smile, ready to lull the world back to sleep. If you enjoyed this video, write, "I met Hypnos tonight." Let me know that he has visited you too. Until the next video, may your dreams be bright and your nights serene.